Ki Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Param Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Rupa Nugagoria Guru Varga ki jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gana ki jai. Shri Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Purushottam Vrat ki jai. Vrat Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Purushottam Dev Jagannath Dev ki jai. Purushottam Kshetra ki jai. Shri Harinam Shri Golden Volcano of Divine Love ki jai. Shri Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Shri Caitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Shri Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari
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 Bol.
Bol.
Hare Krishna. So, which oh no, wait, we're doing Shikshashtakam Kirtans now because that's what we're reading about. So I'm going to find the Kirtan. Okay, yesterday and the day before yesterday. So the day before yesterday, I didn't sleep at night hardly at all. Like I went to sleep really late. You probably noticed that in the video if you saw the video from yesterday. And so then yesterday at 7 a.m. we went out on Parikrama and I ended up returning. I came here to Mayapur, got here close to midnight. And then I set everything up and I finished at like 12:30 or something like that. I went to sleep. And so when I was doing the stotrams just now, I was fully dreaming like the whole time. And somehow I made it through and I don't know if I like what I was doing, like if I messed up a lot or what. but actually just now after talking to Satya Mataji just for a little bit, I'm feeling a lot more awake all of a sudden. So that was really helpful. Thanks. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm actually awake now. I think I got through the whole dreamy part, and but yeah, just letting you know in case I do get a little, or if I'm a little strange, or that's the reason. Okay, so desktop. Okay. Goria Giti Gucha. What song are we on? We're on the fourth verse, fourth verse. No, fifth verse. Okay. Fifth verse. Let's see if that comes up. Okay. There it is. Anadi Karama Fale. Right? We did this one last time. No. We're in the fourth verse. Okay. Okay. Prabhu Tava Pada Yuge. Yeah. Yeah, okay, we're on this one. Prabhu Tava Pada Yuge. O Lord, I submit my humble entreaty at your lotus feet. I do not pray for physical pleasures, knowledge, wealth, or followers. I seek neither heaven nor salvation, nor do I pray for any kind of opulence. Whatever birth I attain by the merits and faults of my karma, may I, birth after birth, sing the glories of your holy name. My only hope is that a Haituki Bhakti, unmotivated devotion for your lotus feet, awakens in my heart at every moment. I love this verse here especially. Whatever attraction I now have for worldly pleasures, may I develop such attraction for your lotus feet. In adversity or prosperity, may that attraction remain steady. Day after day, may it grow by the influence of the holy name. So this is based on the verse, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagarisha kamaye. Mama janmani janmarishvare bhavatar bhaktir ahetuki tvayi. And we'll read Yeah, and after this kirtan, we'll read Srila Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja's explanation of this verse and the next verse. What melody? I'll just do a simple melody. And maybe I'll do lead. We could do a lead response, right? I think there's enough time. Okay. Prabhu tava pada juge mora nivedana nahi magi deha sukha Vedadhana jana Prabhu tava pada juge mora nivedana nahi magi deha sukha Vedadhana jana Nahi magi swarga yar moksha nahi magi na kori prarthana kono vibhutir lagi nahi magi swarga yar moksha nahi magi na kori prarthana kono vibhutir lagi neja karma guna doshe je janma pai janme jeno tava O nama guna gai Nija karma guna doshe je janma pai janme jeno tava O nama guna gai O ye matra asha mama tomara charane ahoy tukhi bhakti hriday jage anukhane ye matra asha mama tomara charane ahoy tukhi Bhakti hriday jage anokhane Vishaye je priti ebe achaye amara Śrīmad priti ho charane tomar Vishaye je priti ebe achaye amara Śrīmad priti ho charane tomara vipare sampare taha thakuk samabhave dine vriddhi ho namera prabhave vipare sampare taha thakuk samabhave dine vriddhi ho namer prabhave Pashupaki hoye thaki swarge vaniraye tava bhakti raho bhakti vinoda hridaye Pashupaki hoye thaki swarge vaniraye bhakti raho bhakti vinodaridaye prabhu tava pada juge mora niveda nahi magi deha sukha vidya dhana jana prabhu tava pada juge mora niveda nahi magi deha sukha vidya dhana jana. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandan Gaura Hari Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Thakur Bhakti Vinod Jaya Bhakti Vinod Thakur Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hare Krishna. Okay, Kishore. Oh, Kishore said he has to go, but he'll come back. Oh man, I was hoping Kishore would do a recap. Anyhow, doesn't matter. Yeah, Satya Mataji, do you have anything to share? Any thoughts from last time? Okay, that's totally fine because I don't either, and we can just read from the book and we can just kind of skim through it together. Okay, I'm sharing my screen again. Oh, let me see everybody who's there. Haribol, Ganga Mataji, and Govinda Saha, and Surevi Didi, and Vidya Lalasa Didi, and I don't know what your name is because I can't read that. I don't know what this. I don't even know what language that is actually. But so Prabhu or Didi, if you let me know your name, that would then I can know who you are. All right. So let me open this up. So we're continuing on from Srila Bhakti Rakṣaka Gosvāmī Mahārāja's very beautiful book, Golden Volcano of Divine Love. In our last reading from this book, which is the day before yesterday, we read Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja's explanation on verse 2 and 3 of Shikshashtakam. And today we'll be reading his explanation on verse 4, 5, and maybe even 6, because they're very short. Very, very short. Okay. So, unlimited names of God. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Okay. And I'm just going to keep on recapping for like 10 minutes until it's time for us to start the 7:30, the normal time reading. Okay. So here in this verse, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis, it is said, O my Lord, you have revealed the chanting of your holy names, and all your power has been invested within those names. Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja explains, both the holy name of Krishna and its potency are eternal. All potencies or energies are found within the holy name of Krishna, and there is no particular time or place which has been fixed for chanting the name. It is not that one can only chant in the morning, or only after taking bath, or only after going to a holy place. There are no such conditions. One may go on chanting the holy name of Krishna anytime, anywhere, and in any circumstance. In this verse, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu says, O Krishna, you have given a most sublime opportunity to all. You are so infinitely gracious that you have given us the service of your holy name. You have given Nam Bhajan. Still, my misfortune is the worst. I don't find any earnest desire within me to take the name. I have no faith, no love, no tendency to take the name. I do not find any innate hankering to chant the name. What can I do? This is the second of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's 8 precepts. He says, O Lord, you have given everything from your side to lift me up from this mundane world of relativity. So you have given me everything from your side to lift me up. Your attempt to deliver me is so magnanimous that all you require from me is just a little cooperation in accepting your grace. But even then, I turn a deaf ear to your magnanimous call. O Lord, I am hopeless. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu has given us great hope in the first verse of his Shikshashtakam. He explains that the chanting of the holy name of Krishna, when properly undertaken, may progress step by step, revealing 7 consequences. So this is in the first verse, Chaitodharpana Marjanam. What's the first effect is cleansing of consciousness. The second is liberation from all mundane relativity. The third effect is positive goodness awakens within our hearts and takes us to Vrindavan. Then, under the guidance of Sarup Shakti, the Lord's internal energy Yogamaya, we come to the Vadu conception. We are potency. We are to serve Krishna unconditionally. Vadu means that ras which gives full connection with the Lord, Madhur ras. After attaining that stage, what are the other consequences that come? One becomes a particle in the ocean of joy, and that joy is not stale or static, but ever new and dynamic. It is purifying to the utmost. Although we are allowed to keep our individual conception, still we feel that all parts of our existence become purified to the utmost when we take the name. And this will not only affect me, but all who are connected with this Nam Sankirtan. That's how Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja in the first chapter I said, his explanation on the first part, he explained that sarvatma means, it has two meanings. It either means ourself completely, thoroughly, inside, out, internally, externally, like just fully cleanses us and purifies us and soothes us. But it also means sarva atma means all souls. So everybody around who hears this holy name, the trees, the plants, the animals, all the people, everybody gets cleansed by being connected with Nam Sankirtan. They will experience mass conversion, mass purification, the utmost purification. So these are the sevenfold results of chanting the holy name. After mentioning this thesis in his first verse, Mahāprabhu now gives the antithesis in the second verse. When such great hope is there in the holy name, why are we having so much trouble? Where is the difficulty? Why do we not realize the advantage of the magnanimous sanction of divinity found in the holy name? Inestimable grace is coming from Krishna's side. He has given us so many opportunities with the least requirement from our side. We must have some taste, some eagerness to accept the holy name. But there's the difficulty. We have none. So what hope can we have? How can we attain it? We may be approaching the holy name formally, but not from the core of our hearts. So, by what process can we really benefit and make progress? The third verse answers this question. Although one may not, so that's the next verse, Trinadapi Sunichena. Although one may feel that he does not have the minimum required deposit to receive the grant, still it is not a hopeless case. There's still hope. The very nature of this realization takes him to the conception of humility. When one begins to practice devotion toward the infinite Lord, he cannot but feel that in relation to the infinite, there is nothing of value in himself. So that's how humility comes. It comes by understanding our relationship with the infinite. It's not anything else. Any other kind of humility is just mundane, a false pretense. Humility comes by sambandha, because we see, oh my God, we're so insignificant compared to the Lord. What? So then you become humble. So he thinks, I have nothing to give in return. Even the minimum requirement for the Lord's grace is absent in me. That takes him to the conception that I have no qualification. I am completely empty. Okay, I'm just going to skip some parts so we can get through it. At the same time, we must guard ourselves from an insincere conception of our own devotion. This is our enemy. To think, I do not have the least liking or taste for the Lord, that is all right. But to think, I have some taste, I have some eagerness, I have some devotion for the Lord, that kind of thinking is very dangerous. Okay, humbler than a blade of grass. I'm skipping around here, guys. So this is his explanation on the verse Trinadapi Sunichena Tororapi Sahishuna Manina Manitena Kirtaniya Sadahari. We should mainly couch ourselves in this mood. We should think ourselves as the meanest of the mean. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given his analysis of the meaning of this verse as follows. Even a blade of grass has its value, but we do not even have as much value as a blade of grass. We have no positive value. It is one thing if a man is not educated, but a madman is worse than uneducated. He can think, but only abnormally. Therefore, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I have some consciousness, some intelligence, but it is all misdirected. A blade of grass has no misdirection. When trampled upon, it has no tendency to spring back in the opposite direction. A blade of grass can be blown here and there by a storm or by the external environment. But I will always be reluctant to go in a particular direction. If the waves of the environment want to take me in a particular direction, I try to oppose them. If you really consider my value, My position is lower than a blade of grass because I have an opposing tendency. Not only do we not go with try to go along with the Lord's plan and just accept what comes to us, but we try to oppose the Lord and try to, so in that way, we're even lower than a blade of grass. That's what it means to be more humble than a blade of grass, is to realize, that I guess. Anyways, when we want to bring ourselves in a closer relationship with the infinite goodness, then we should think, I have no value. Rather, not only do I not have any value, but my value is negative. It is my tendency to oppose the Lord's grace. If Krishna wants to grace me, I try to resist. I am constituted of such an element that I commit spiritual suicide. Krishna comes to grace me, but I oppose him. That's the energy that is within. So the energy that is within me tries for suicide. This is my position. But a blade of grass won't oppose anyone. I have such a nasty position. We must realize that we are in such a predicament. With this concern, we may accept the goodness of the absolute truth in the form of his holy name. So that's Śrīla Gosvāmī's explanation on Turnad api sunichena. Now comes his explanation on Torod api sohishnunad. What does it mean to be more tolerant than a tree? We should not think that the path will be very smooth. No, so many troubles may come from outside. When the devotees go to chant Hare Krishna in the street, many people come and shout, "Hey, you monkeys, you red-faced monkeys!" So many forms of hindrances and opposition will come and try to affect us, to dissuade us from this path. But we must practice forbearance like that of a tree. Why has the example of a tree been given? The tree has been analyzed in this way. If no one pours any water on a tree, it does not protest, "Oh, give me water." Or if anyone comes to disturb a tree, snatching its leaves, cutting its branches, or even chopping it down, a tree remains silent. It gives no opposition. We should try to see how insult, poverty, punishment, or other unfavorable dealings are necessary to purify us. And with minimal punishment, we shall be released from material existence. Wow, so when someone insults us, when we get punished, when when we lose all our money, we're poverty-stricken, we should think, this is necessary for me to purify myself. Through Krishna consciousness, we have connected with the highest object of life, the highest fulfillment of life. What price are we ready to pay for that highest object? The highest fulfillment possible. What are we ready to pay for that? It is inconceivable. Whatever little demands may be exacted from us, we must accept with a smiling face, considering the highest goal. If we are really confident, if we have faith in our bright future, then we can gladly pay what little price nature wants to take from us. And then he gives a beautiful example of Gaurkishoras Babaji Maharaj when some boys were pelting him with stones and throwing dirt at him, and he remarked, "Krishna, you are cruelly dealing with me. I shall complain to your mother Yashoda about you." That was his outlook, and in that way he harmonized everything. We should learn to see Krishna in anything that comes to disturb or attack us. In philosophical calculation, of course, without God's will, nothing can happen. In a concrete way, a devotee sees, "Oh Krishna, you are backing these children. You are disturbing me, and I shall teach you a lesson. I know how to deal with you. I shall complain to Mother Yashoda, and she will chastise you." The advanced devotees are established in the consciousness that Krishna is behind everything, and they take everything in that way. This attitude is our beacon light, for it will guide us to adjust ourselves with those things that are apparently unfavorable to us. A sweet adjustment is found there, and so we are advised to be more tolerant than a tree. We may not give any opposition, still opposition will come to disturb us, and we must forbear. And we must show our respect to others. Prestige is the greatest and most subtle enemy of the devotee of Krishna. It's the most subtle, it's the most difficult to detect. Pride is the worst enemy for the devotee of Krishna, and pride ultimately takes one to the conclusion of the Mayavadis. The Mayavadis are the most proud because not only do they think that I'm great, but they think I am the supreme powerful being. That's like, you can't get a bigger ego than that, than the supreme ego of being the Lord of everything. Not, they say soham, I am, not dasoham, I am subordinate. I am of the supreme element. I am that. I am he. Eliminating from the consideration the fact that we are tiny and suffering in misery. All these practical things are ignored by the Mayavadis, the impersonalists. But position, our ego, this pratishta, is our worst enemy. In this verse, we are advised to deal with prestige and position in a special way. The slave area of Krishna. Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu says, you must not desire respect from anyone or even from the environment itself. At the same time, you must give prestige to everyone and everything in the environment according to its position. Show respect, but do not desire any respect from outside. We must be very particular about this, for pride is our hidden enemy, our worst enemy. If we can somehow avoid or conquer this enemy, we will be able to enter into the slave area of Krishna and join those who have given their lives wholesale and sacrifice to him. I like that. We shall be able to enter the slave area of Krishna. The general meaning of this verse is, never seek position or prestige from any quarter. At the same time, give honor to one and all according to your understanding. Okay, then he tells a story about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, about how he fasted one time when the who was it exactly? Actually, we should probably start reading the chapter for today. Otherwise, it's going to go too late again.
Basically, what happened was some of the caste Brahmins started saying, oh, yes, we can give mercy to Raghunath Das Goswami because he's not a caste Brahmin. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada heard this and began fasting. And then later on, when someone discovered that Bhaktisiddhanta, yes.
Oh, no, never mind. Keep on going.
And later on, when someone discovered that Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was fasting, because Prabhupada started fasting and then everyone else started fasting. And then when they found this out, they went into the caste Brahmins like, you're making Bhaktisiddhanta fast. And that person came and saw Prabhupada and begged forgiveness. And someone asked Prabhupada, like, why do you pay attention to the words of these people? Why don't you ignore them? And Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada said, yes, if I was a Niskunchan Bhajan Nandi, if I was a Babaji in Nirjan Bhajan in a solitary hut chanting, I could have ignored them, but I'm in the position of Acharya. I have to teach by example.
Yes. Yeah. Before that, the reasoning that guy was giving, that Panda guy or whatever, or the Brahmin was giving, is he gave that verse by Raghunath Das Goswami himself says this, right? Goshdalaishu, that I want to develop rati affection and profusely serve, like the residents of Vrindavan. They're like, we're residents of Vrindavan, and he says Bhusuragan to the Brahmins who are lords of the earth. And so they said, we're Brahmins and we live in Vrindavan, so we're fit to give Raghunath Das Goswami. But then, yeah, like you said, then they came and begged forgiveness. So and then Srila Goswami Maharaj was explaining about what's real humility. Like he gives an example of Hanuman. Hanuman burnt all of Lanka down. He didn't get so specific into that, but and people died in that fire. It wasn't just like he burned a whole city down and everybody survived. And so things like our conception of humility, the Vaishnava conception in relation to the Absolute, is completely different from the conception of humility of other people. We're humble before before Guru and Vaishnavas and the Lord, but it doesn't mean that all this, like, you know, a dog comes inside the temple and we're just like, oh, well, you know, like, he gives that example, and like, yeah, anyways, it's a complete different paradigm, humility in our Vaishnava conception. Okay, I'm just going to read the last paragraph of this chapter, and then we'll continue on with today's reading. In this way, maybe I'll read two paragraphs. We are the meanest of the mean. We should always be conscious that we are beggars. We should think, although I am a beggar, I have come to beg for the highest thing. Let no disturbance dissuade me from my attempt. At the same time, our attitude toward the environment should be respectful. In this way, by becoming educated in the Krishna conception of divinity, everyone should be given respect according to his position. It is the guiding instruction in the worship of the holy name of Nam Bhajan that we must take the position of the slave of the slave of the slave of the Lord. If you want to chant the name of Krishna, then do not waste your energy with the trifling things of this world. Do not allow your attention to be disturbed by tiny acquisitions like that's just a tiny acquisition, prestige, or gain, which is relative to money or physical comfort. Remember, you are trying for the greatest thing, and all other things are very small in comparison to Krishna consciousness. So do not waste your energy and valuable time. Be economical. You have the chance to achieve the highest goal of life. Now we come to Chapter 4 of Part 2, Unalloyed Devotion. Oh, but let's do a quick Mangala Charan. Okay, Hare Krishna, Jiva Gosvāmī Prabhu. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Where are we? Oh yeah, it's here. Let me put these together. Ajnanatirmirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujo kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalaya vishwambharo dijavaro yugadharmapalo vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. Namastrikala satyaya jagannatha sutaya cha sabhrityaya saputraya sakalatraya te namaha. Nilachala nivasaya nityaya paramatmane Balabhadra subhadrabhyang jagannathaya te namaha. Govardhana dharam vande gopalam goparupinam gokulotsavamishanam govindam gopika priyam. Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai kshiptashtakamadhitaranga madhe kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, Golden Volcano of Divine Love by Śrīmad Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja, verse 4 of Shikshashtakam. Wonder where Seshuri Mataji and Indira Mataji are. Okay. Na dhanang na janang na sundarim kavitam va jagarisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatar bhaktir ahaituki tvai. O Lord, I have no desires to accumulate wealth, followers, beautiful women, or salvation. My only prayer is for your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. Illumination by Śrīmad Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja. We should try to move in this direction. Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu says, I don't want any money, na dhanam. I don't want any popularity or manpower, na janam. I don't want the company of beautiful ladies, na sundarim. I don't want a good name or the fame of a poet, kavitam va. This is the general meaning of this verse, but it has been deeply dealt with in the commentaries of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Our Guru Mahārāja has commented that in this verse, wealth, followers, women, and scholarship represent duty, wealth, sense pleasure, and salvation, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Bhakti Vinod Thakur has explained that in this context, wealth means the wealth which comes from following one's prescribed duties. It can also mean artha, economic development. He says that followers means physical relationship for comforts. That means wife, children, and so forth. The word sundarim means kama, or the company of beautiful ladies, and for ladies, the company of handsome men. And kavitam, poetry, represents moksha, liberation. Moksha apparently has a high value, but really, like poetry, it is only flowery words. Liberation is imaginary because the ultimate result of liberation is that one's existence vanishes. Service capitalists. Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu says, O Lord of the universe, I only pray for spontaneous devotion to you without motive for any reward. I want a natural serving attitude. Prem means affection, love. Prem means I shall serve you, and in remuneration you must give me more of a tendency to serve you, more energy and more hankering to serve you. My affection for you will be enhanced, and the interest will become capital, just as in the money lending business. In this way, a devotee prays to Krishna. I am serving you, and if you want to pay me something, then give me more capital to increase my serving tendency so that it may be more enhanced. Wherever I am born according to my karma, I aspire only for your service, my Lord, and I pray for unmotivated service, not for anything else in return. The general temptation that surrounds us on four sides is of four classes: money, followers, women, and liberation. And that means dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. In this way, the gradations of different goals of life have been scientifically represented. But Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu says, I have no attraction for any of these things, but only for you, my Lord. I don't even aspire after liberation. I will not even ask, give me liberation, for being liberated, I will be able to serve you better. No, I don't even ask that. That sort of condition must not be placed on divinity. This is the purest of prayers. According to my karma, I may be a bird or beast, here or there, or even in hell, it does not matter. My whole aspiration is concentrated on one thing alone. I pray that my attraction for you may never be lost. I pray it may always be enhanced. Bhakti, devotion, is ahaituki, it is causeless. It is quite natural and has no other aspiration. Someone may say, if interest is always being reinvested as capital, I will never enjoy the profit. But we are interested in enjoyment by self-giving. Let others enjoy at my cost. This is the basis of the highest enjoyment. The devotee thinks, let Krishna enjoy with others. I will be the scapegoat. Scapegoat. The Suicide Squad. Wasn't there a movie called The Suicide Squad recently? Anyways, sorry. Okay. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that when a baby has no knowledge and an enemy or a disease comes to attack him, he cannot defend himself. In the same way, in the beginning, when one's realization of the holy name is in the childlike stage, then crimes and offenses against the name will prevail. When one's realization is grown up, no offense can approach him, but so many offenses may come and attack the beginner. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the holy name is so beautiful, gracious, and charming. 1 second, just checking comments. Yeah, it did suck. I saw it also. Okay, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the holy name is beautiful, gracious, and charming. Let me die among all the offenses against it, so others may enjoy its nectar. Whoa, I wonder what that means. Let's see. Wait, let me just reread that. The holy name is so beautiful, gracious, and charming. Let me die along with all the offenses against it, so others may enjoy its nectar. So what does that mean? He wants to sacrifice himself, just as in wartime, with bombs under their just as in wartime with bombs under their armpits. The Suicide Squad would jump into a ship's chimney. The Suicide Squad began with Japan's campaign against the British. And when Hitler heard of their fearlessness, he said, we have something yet to learn from Japan. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur prays, I want to finish myself along with all the offenses against the name, so that others may enjoy the nectar of the holy name. Vasudev Datta also prayed, give the sins of all souls to me and throw me into eternal hell so that they may benefit. Give them love for Krishna. I can live in hell for eternity. By that highly generous sentiment, he does not die. It is said, die to live. He doesn't die. It said, die to live. When we have so much appreciation for the Lord that we feel this kind of sentiment, we find a living attainment of higher life. That is the enjoyment we want. The last verse of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtakam will explain this feeling. Another example of this is found when the great sage Narad came to the gopis and asked them for the dust of their lotus feet for the treatment of Krishna's headache. Here we find self-abnegation to the highest degree, and that is the whole point of devotion. The very life of a devotee is based on sacrifice. As much as there is sacrifice, there is benefit. And sacrifice means die to live. This is a favorite saying of mine. These are Hegel's words or Hegel? Hegel. Okay. These are Hegel's words. Die to live. Krishna is the highest consumer known to the world. We should not hesitate to give ourselves to him. to Krishna, the highest consumer. So now we come to the 5th verse of Shikshashtakam. Ai nanda tanuja kinkaram patidam mam vishame pavan budu. Okay, so we can sing the next song by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now, Anadi Karama Phale. This is his song based on the 5th verse. One second, just drinking some water. Hare Krishna, Vinita, Nepali. Haribo. Okay. In consequence to my actions, since time immemorial, I have plunged into the ocean of material existence, and I see no means of deliverance. Due to the position of worldly pleasures, my heart blazes day and night, and my mind never receives any comfort. The bonds of hundreds upon hundreds of desires constantly give me pain. Such is the play of the waves of the ocean of worldly life. The 6 rogues, headed by lust and anger, dispense fear as the end draws near. Having cheated me, the 2 thugs of Gyan and Karma finally throw me into that ocean's waters. This is a critical time, O Krishna, my dear friends. Kindly lift me from those waters with your strength, for you are an ocean of compassion. This is a critical time, O Krishna, my dear friend. Kindly lift me from those waters with your strength, for you are an ocean of compassion. Taking this fallen servant and making him a particle of dust at your lotus feet, give this Bhakti Vinod sanctuary. O merciful Lord, I am actually your eternal servant. But having forgotten this, I remain bound by the trap of Maya. So, let's just sing this all together. I'm not going to do lead and response, if that's okay. Anadi karama phale apori bhavar navajale tori bare na dekhi upay e vishaya Divanishi hiya jwale manako bho sukha nahi paay. Asha pasha shata shata Klesh de abirata pravriti or mirata hai khela kama krodha yadi chay abat pade deya bhai avasana hoilo yashi bhelo agyana karma thak dui more pratariya loi ayavasheshe phele sindhu jale eheno samaye bandhu tumi Krishna kripa sindhu eheno samaye bandhu Patita kinkare dhori Para parma dhuli kori Patita kinkare dhori Para parma dhuli kori Deho bhakti vino deyashray Deho bhakti vino deyashray Ami tava nitya das Bhuliya mayar pash Ami tava nitya das Bhuliya mayar pash Bada hoye achi dayamoy Bada hoye achi dayamoy Hoy ami tava nitya das Bhuliya mayar pash Ami tava nitya das Bhuliya mayar pash Bada hoye achi dayamoy Bada hoye achi dayamoy Prabhu hai, Prabhu hai, Prabhu hai, Prabhu hai, oh Prabhu hai, Prabhu hai, Prabhu hai, Prabhu hai, oh Jai Sachinadan Gaura Hari, Sachinadan Jai Gaura Hari, Jai Sachinadan Gaura Hari, Sachinadan Jai Gaura Hari. Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. Okay, so now we'll go through this verse. 5. Okay. Krishna, king of the land, sorry, why did I say that? King of the land of love. Ainanda tanuja kinkarang patitang mam vishame bhavam budho Kripaya tava para pankaja stitha dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. Translation. O son of Nanda Mahārāja, I am your eternal servant. Yet, because of my own karma, I have fallen into this terrible ocean of birth and death. Accept this fallen soul and consider me a particle of dust at your holy lotus feet. 1 second. Here, Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu prays, O Lord, please consider me. I want to enter into the realm of your merciful glance. I do not know how to take proper care of myself. So I invite your care. Wow, that's really beautiful. I like that. I don't know how to take proper care of myself, so I invite your care. Please accept me and give me entrance. You are my guardian. I want to live under your protection. And who is he? With a capital H. Who is he? We hear of different conceptions of God. But here we have come to a beautiful conception of God. Krishna, the son of Nanda Mahārāja. This is found only in Vrindavan. A great spiritual scholar, Raghupati Upadhyaya, he once met Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu near Mathura. There they had a discussion, and Mahaprabhu asked him, Whom do we want to have as our master? And who is the final goal of our life? Then Raghupati Upadhyaya, he answered, Shrutim apare smritsai, Shrutim apare smritim itare, Bharatam anye bhajantu bhava bhita, Aham ihanandam vande, Yasya linde param brahma. He said, those who fear rebirth in this world may follow the advice of the Vedic scriptures. Others may follow the Mahabharata. But as for me, I follow Nanda Maharaj, in whose courtyard the Supreme Absolute Truth plays as a child. In the system of Varnashram Dharma, Vedic social duty, the people in general are under the guidance of the Smriti of Vedic law. In this way, they are engaged in bodily duties with the color of godliness. Those who are free from physical demands, however, who are trying to transcend this life of enjoyment and exploitation, they generally take their guidance from the Upanishads, because higher advice is given there. Raghupati Upadhyaya says, I don't care for all these things, but I feel a need to follow the guidance of my heart. I am not so much concerned with the brain. I consider that real peace has its connection with the heart, and my heart is always attracted by Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj, Nanda. Krishna is said by authorities to be the supreme absolute truth, and that absolute is crawling in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. So I see concrete reality there, in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. How has Nanda attracted the supreme absolute truth? In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10.8.46, the devoted King Parikshit Maharaj asked the boy saint Shukadeva Gosvāmī, Nanda kim akarod brahman shreya evang mahodayam yashoda cha mahabhaga papo yasyastanam hari. O knower of Brahma, you are always merged in the exclusive conscious world. No trace of any mundane objective reference can be found in you, for you are always engaged in the subjective world of spirit. Never is your consciousness thrown towards this objective world of ours. And you say that Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. I have one question of you, my master. Oh, Shukadeva Gosvāmī. Sorry, one second. Okay, I have one question of you, my master. What duty did Nanda Maharaj discharge? What sort of realization did Nanda have that the absolute truth is so intimate with him that he appears as Nanda's son and crawls about in his courtyard? He seems to be under this absolute truth seems to be under Nanda's clutches. What is this? This is a most wonderful thing. Is it possible? The supreme substance suckles her breasts? Okay. The yogis, the rishis, the great scholars and penance makers say that they sometimes have a rare peek into their object of aspiration and realization. And then they come back suddenly. They can't keep their attention in that plane for long periods of time. How is it possible that the supreme substance sits on the lap of Yashoda and sucks her breasts? If such things are real, if it is at all possible, then why should I not be attracted by that method by which I can have so much intimacy with the highest entity? In his prayer, Raghupati Upadhyaya, he expresses a similar ego. He says, I don't want to be entangled in the subtle discussion and analysis of the scriptures. I just want to surrender myself to Nanda and his party. I want to enlist my name in the group where Nanda is the master guide. I want to be where Nanda Maharaj, he's the master guide. He's the king of Raj. And I want to be enlisted my name in that group. By the exercise of energy, by karma, we can attain a good destination. Without faith in the achievements of karma, we may try for salvation by raising our consciousness through gyan. But if we inquire into the solution of life with the help of the experts of that higher spiritual realm like Nanda and his party, we can enter into the land of love and dedication. My faith, my common sense about religion, tells me that if I see that supreme absolute truth who is so rare and find him real, concrete, and intimate, appealing directly to my heart, then why should I engage myself in wild goose chasing? I shall appeal directly to the object of my search. I'm not going to go any other direction. I'll go directly to the object of my search. If someone tells me that a hawk has snatched my ear, should I chase the hawk without first touching my ear to see if it's still there? That's such an interesting example. Yeah. If I can have the absolute truth so intimately, why should I allow myself to run hither and thither? If I find that the absolute truth has kindly come with all his charm, and that his charm is not a secret, and many personages are being attracted by him, then should I run after the phantasmagoria of the meditationists, the abstractionists, and the renunciationists? Never. It is common sense. The straight understanding is given by authorities that Krishna, the son of Nanda, is supreme. So when we have come up to that standard, then we can ask, O son of Nanda, O Krishna, king of the country of love, I appeal for your affection. I am your servant. I feel within myself that I have some connection with you. I am subordinate to you, but somehow I am in adverse circumstances. I feel that there are so many enemies within me that are trying to take me away from you that I can't give my attention to you all the time. At the same time, I feel from the inner plane of my heart that you are my master. You are my all in all to me. My heart won't be satisfied without your companionship. So I appeal to you. I am under unfavorable circumstances. I am suffering, and without your grace, I do not find any means of relief for my present imprisoned position. Without your grace, I don't find any means of relief for my present imprisoned position. The soul, like a ray of sun. Here it is said, I feel that I am not eternally connected with you. If it were so, then this separation would have been impossible. Unlike an avatar, I am not your plenary portion. Other incarnations of the Supreme Lord are plenary expansions of him. They are svangsha. But the jiva is a partial representation of his potency. He is vibhinangsha. Literally, svangsha means his own part. Swa, angsha. Angsha means part. And vibhinangsha, so that's the avatars, are like directly his own parts. But vibhinangsha, vibhina means separated. So vibhinangsha means we're the separated parts. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the living entities are his eternal parts and parcels. The soul comes from marginal potency. Krishner tatasta shakti bhed abhed prakash. And the soul is an atomic fragmental part of the Lord's potency, like a ray of the sun. But here the devotee prays, I am not part and parcel of your own body. I am not svangsha. I am not even a ray, but my representation is nearer to that. But my representation is nearer to that of a particle of sand, a particle of dust. I'm like a particle of dust, not even a particle of the ray coming out from the luster of your body. No, I'm like a particle of dust. In this way, Śrīmad Mahāprabhu is representing on our behalf that our petition must be of this type. I cannot indulge myself in thinking that I possess such fortune that I may be considered an inseparable part of you. I am a separable part, Vibhinangsha, but I also want your grace. Please be kind upon me. I invoke your mercy for a spiritual grant. Accept me in any position in your connection, even the lowest position. At least this must be sanctioned. Even just being in the lowest position, you at least must sanction this. Consider me a particle of dust at your feet. This is my prayer. Okay, now we come to the third verse. It's very short. It's only, yeah. Look, that's it. Maybe, I think we have enough time to read this. This is not even going to take 15 minutes. Oh, but there's a kirtan. Okay, let's just do this kirtan quickly. It won't take that long. Aparad phale mama chitta bhelo vajra sama. This is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song on the 6th verse of Shri Shikshashtakam. Due to my offenses, my heart has become hard like a bolt of lightning and feels no transformation from chanting your name. Downcast, O Hari, I cry out your name again and again in great distress. O you who are merciful to the fallen, O root cause of compassion, please give me a drop of bhav and save my life. When will tears flow continuously from my eyes upon uttering your holy name? My throat then choked, only stuttered half syllables will issue from my mouth. My whole body shall be covered in goosebumps, and I shall perspire, tremble, and become stunned again and again. My body becoming pale, I shall lose consciousness, and then hold on to my life by taking shelter of the holy name. Bhakti Vinod, who is devoid of intelligence, weeps. O Lord, will I ever encounter such a day? Actually, wait, before I start, let me ask you a question. Would you like to discuss this, what we've read so far today? Or should I continue reading? So we could end our reading for today and just have a little discussion about what we read. Otherwise, and then otherwise I can just read through this chapter because it's very short. So let me know. Okay, just read it. Okay, I'm going to do that. Cool. Okay. Okay, yeah, Kishore also says continue. Cool. We'll sing this together. Aparada phale mama chitta bhelo vrajra vajra sama tua name nala bevikar hatasha hoye hari tava nama uccha kori boro dukhe daki bar bar boro dukhe o daki bar bar adina dayamoy karuna nidan baba bindu de rakho paran kabe tava nama ucharane mor nayane jarabo dara dara lor gada gada swara kanthe upajabo mukhe bolo ada ada bahirabo pulake bharabo sharira hamara sweda kampastamba habe bara bara vivarna sharire harau bungyan nama samashaye tarabo parana milabo hamara kiye aiche din milabo hamara kiye aiche din roye bhakti vinoramati Bhakti Vinodamati. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Sachinandan Gaura Hari, Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hari, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Okay. So hankering for perfection. Nayanam galarashrudharaya, vadanam gadkadarudaya gira, pulakar nichitam vapukada, tavanama grahane bhavishyati. O Lord, when will tears flow from my eyes like waves, and my voice tremble in ecstasy? When will the hairs of my body stand on end while chanting your holy name? Illumination. In this verse, the devotee's prayer has been granted, and he has acquired a position in Krishna's domain. Now his ambition has no end. Although he is posted in a safe position, he is again praying for further promotion. First, he aspired only for an insignificant position as the dust under the soles of Krishna's divine feet. Then the grant came. The touch of Krishna's holy feet came to the dust, and the dust was converted, as if by a magic wand. Now a greater, higher demand automatically comes. The devotee thinks, "What is this? I prayed only to become the dust of the soles of your feet. But what do I now feel within me? I am the dust of the earth, and you are the supreme absolute truth. But by the very touch of your lotus feet, dust has been converted into such a great and inconceivable substance. I wonder, how is it that I have been transformed? Now I find that my demand is for greater intimacy. First I aspired for servitude, but now, by the touchstone of your lotus feet, the hope has been converted into spontaneous attraction, Raga Marg." The king of affection. Spontaneous attraction can only mean Krishna, not Narayan or Ramachandra. Krishna means one who is worshipped by divine love and affection. He is the king of affection. He is the center of affection and love. The devotee's whole conception of devotion changed just by coming in touch with Krishna's lotus feet. And he was graced by the demand for more intimacy. Greater love and affection came to grace that servitor. He was raised to such a plane of dedication that his prayer has changed. He thinks, "What is this? I can't check my tears. They are coming incessantly, and when I try to chant your name, my Lord, I feel that I'm losing control. Some interference from another quarter is moving me, disturbing my normal thinking and aspirations. I feel I am in the midst of another plane. I am nowhere. I have lost control. I have become a doll in the hands of some other power." Lotus feet, magic wand. My aspiration is taking me towards something else. Now, I not only want a connection with you as a servitor from a distance, but coming in touch with the magic wand of your lotus feet, my aspiration has changed. I see that so many devotees are engaged in your service and chanting your name, and seeing this, my hopes have been raised. I want to be lifted to that position. I can visualize that position from far away, but now my earnest prayer is that I may be raised to that level. Your connection has given me such thirst. I want to be handled by you. Play with me as you like in your own way. My heart hankers after such a relationship with you. When I chant your name with this feeling, I find that my previous conception has changed, and my new hankering is for the standard of spontaneous love. I pray that you lift me into that plane of your divine affection and love. Okay, so that is the end of the chapter, very short. So Kishore Prabhu or Satya Mataji, if you have anything to share from any thoughts that come from this reading, you can, or Jiva Prabhu, if you have anything to share also, if you have, then let me know. Otherwise, we can just end with a kirtan. There's one thing that this is like in the first thing that we're reading about, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam va jagadesh kamaye. I once heard a devotee explain, this isn't how this was explained in our reading today, but I remember hearing one time, so na dhanam, I don't want any wealth, I don't want any followers, janam, na sundarim, I don't want any beautiful women, or any, like the opposite sex, I don't want to be like that with the opposite sex, and then kavitvam. So that word kavitvam, which means means like poetry, or the flowery words of the Vedas, and they talk about liberation and how we aspire for liberation, but that, and also it means scholarship. Kavitva means scholarship and beauty and literature, flowery words, all that. And so oh yeah, I know, Satya Mataji, I'm really loving these explanations as well. Shri Sridhara Gosvāmī is just so kavitvam means so that's what the meaning of kavitvam means. And so this can also apply to us with Harikatha. Lots of times I'm attracted by, I heard one devotee explain this, this was her realization, that she noticed that she was attracted to people giving classes. Like there's some certain speakers, they'd give such beautiful classes that they'd even move you to tears. Like it was like they'd tell a pastime of Radha and Krishna leaving Vrindavan, and they get so into all the details and the moods of the Vrajvasis, and also it wasn't like they're making stuff up. It was all authoritative from Shastra, going into the different commentaries. And so then hearing that and getting so absorbed in it because they knew how to present it really nicely, and there's nothing wrong with it, and you'd be feeling emotion. But the person who was speaking that katha wasn't a Mahabhagavat. They weren't on that level. And so why is it that all of a sudden I'm like crying and feeling emotion in this class, but then when I'm sitting in a class of a Mahabhagavat, somebody who really is a Mahabhagavat, why is it that I'm not feeling all the same emotion? Why is it that I'm maybe even getting bored in the class? I'm like getting distracted and I can't focus, and oh God, it's going too slow, or oh, he's told this story like 20 times, and why am I feeling like this when I'm hearing directly from a pure devotee? Like for some reason my mind is like more attracted and gets more feelings from listening to some mundane person explaining all these things. And so then the person understood that this is actually my desire for kavitva. I want to hear something that's really poetic, beautiful. Also, I want to hear something full of scholarship. I love when very complex siddhanta that I usually can never understand, all of a sudden it's made very clear, and taking things from Jiva Gosvāmī, taking things from this acharya and connecting it all together, and it's like a beautiful masterpiece, this siddhanta that's being expressed. And so then I feel attracted. I'm like, yes. Or they tell the story in such a beautiful, heart-touching way, or give such nice examples, and you feel inspiration, and I need to become more serious in bhakti and like that. So why is that what's attracting me, and not not the words of a pure devotee? Why, when I listen to a recording of Srila Prabhupada, I'm not getting that same feeling that I get when I'm listening to this mundane person speak? And so that is our condition, that we have this desire for beautiful harikatha, like so-called beautiful harikatha. So, but it's, this is a trap that many devotees fall into, is that they think that they're actually feeling the genuine thing. Oh, this is what it must feel like to be making progress in spiritual life. Because now all of a sudden, after hearing this class, I'm feeling inspiration. But we're not always so good at detecting. Oh, oops, I'm still sharing my screen. Yeah, we're not so good at always detecting what is actual genuine bhakti and what is false, like what is actually something else. And actually in Rupa Shiksha, that is a very prominent point. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he explains that along with the vine of devotion, when we're watering, with the water of Shravan and Kirtan, we're watering this vine of devotion in our heart, and but it's very difficult to detect whether we're watering the vine of devotion or we're watering one of the weeds. And he explains actually that it's not a weed. He says that it's an upashaka. That's the word that's used. It's actually a parasitic. Well, no, I'm not. It's a creeper that grows with the vine of devotion, and it looks just like the vine of devotion. So we think that we're watering our seed of devotion, and we're not. Like it's so subtle and difficult to understand what we're watering. And so we might be feeling inspiration and bhakti and think we're doing everything right, but actually we're just watering an upashaka, which completely resembles the vine of devotion. And after a long time of doing this, we'll start to feel some pride. We'll start to get we'll start to get lots of respect, and we'll be going on a completely wrong path without knowing it. Like we generally don't think we're doing something bad. But actually we are going on the wrong direction. And so I just really liked that point that this devotee explains with Kavita, because it was very relevant to me. I really like listening to very scholarly classes, and and I love when there's a very complex topic and it's all of a sudden makes sense, and like eureka. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of harikatha that I really like to listen to. But also another thing that I remembered is, like another point is, just because you're feeling emotion when listening to Harikatha from somebody who's from a mundane person, that doesn't actually, like when I watch a movie, like I watched this movie, Hotel Rwanda, I was crying so much through that movie. It like brought me to tears. I can watch something mundane and it makes me feel emotion. And actually, I like after watching Hotel Rwanda, then I felt like, this world is such a terrible place, and life is so short, and I need to become more serious about bhakti. Yeah, in one way, it made me feel more like want to become a better devotee. But would you say that movie was favorable for devotion? Like that we should start watching movies now so that we can realize what a horrible place this world is? And so it's just, just our feelings. We can't always depend on our feelings when it comes to things in bhakti, unless it's in relation to a pure devotee or something that we know is pure. Yes, Satya Mataji, what do you have to say?
So you've got these two things growing. How can you tell which is which?
Well, that's why we can't just move on this path completely on our own, by our own effort. We need to constantly be reading these shastras, which is explaining what the pure thing is. Like if we just that's why we always need to be reading the articles of these pure devotees, and that's why we need to be in the guidance of pure Vaishnavas. They can call out our crap, Sri Guru calls out all our bull crap, right? That you can say we're dependent on the words of our Guru Varga, of the association of devotees, and like that. Otherwise, we will be misled. Yeah, that's just my own, like, my understanding. Yeah. Anyhow, that point really helped me when I heard it, and I started to, because I actually would find that I would like I'd be in like Prem Prayojan's Prabhu's class, and he's amazing at making complex topics understandable. And like, I feel like just sitting in one of his classes, I did like a month of studying. You know what I mean? Like what I'd get from a month of studying. So like I love that kind of stuff. And then I'd find like I would Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj came, and like he'd give class, and sometimes he'd speak really slow, and I'd find my mind going all over the place and not being able to focus. But I'd be able to focus fully on Prem Prayojan. But then I noticed that devotees that I really admire, they couldn't sit in Prem Prayojan's class. They would be restless if they were sitting in Prem Prayojan. Like they're the complete opposite of me, you know? But then Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, when he was speaking, they were just like completely transfixed. And I could see that like when you get to a higher level of bhakti, then something a lot more deep is happening. You're connecting on a much deeper level. Like, because I'm on such a superficial level, it's all like what's gratifying my mind and my emotions and like that. But when you get to a higher level, then it's all about what's nurturing the soul. And it's not about what's pleasing your senses or whatever, and like your intellect and all that. It's like what's actually nourishing your heart, and what is actually pouring water on the direct vine of devotion, the bhakti lata, not some upashaka. So, yeah. Anyhow. All right, it is 8:34. We have 1 minute to finish. So I'll do a quick Mahamantra and Jaidvani, and then also if you have any thoughts on this, or like just during the day or whatever, tomorrow we can discuss whatever thoughts you have on any of this that we read from Srila Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj. So, okay.
Very nice, Harikatha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Jai Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Srila Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Shikshashtaka Ki Jai, Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari, the golden volcano of divine love Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Rakṣaka Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpataru Bhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna. Just with that point though, what I realize is I have really bad taste in Hari Katha. Like I like things that are entertaining and where I get a lot of knowledge. Like I learn a lot, but it wasn't actually about what was really watering the seed of my bhakti lata. So then I realized I need to get better taste, and that's why I want to be around devotees who have that kind of taste in pure Hari Katha, and then maybe I'll also get that same kind of taste. So, all right, Hari Bol, everybody. I'm just quickly looking here. Dandavat Pranam Satya Mataji, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, and Jiva Goswami Prabhu. I didn't know your full name was Jiva Goswami. That's so interesting. And then I'm looking here on YouTube and Facebook. Haribo, Ganga Mataji, Govinda Saha Prabhu, Surevi Didi, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Binita Nepali, Manju Didi, Hare Krishna, Karuna Didi, Champak Didi, and Cristiano Luna, Hare Krishna. Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat Pranams. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna.